How's everybody doing? This is Mr. and Mrs. Silver Fox Forex back with another training tip video. So this will be the third video for this training session, and it is support and resistance chart patterns on the Japanese candles. This one should be a very, very interesting one and good one. Please pay attention. So we're going to go ahead and open up this module here. I'm going to go ahead and open up the screen here. If there's any questions or comments, anything I do to point you in the right direction, please let me know below. Enjoy the video.
Introduction to chart patterns, Japanese candles, another form of supply and resistance. Back in our introduction to Japanese candles, we saw how differently shaped candles reflected market sentiment for the duration of the candles. For example, a candle like this one, with a long body and little or no wick, indicated that there was no indecision about price. During the period this candle covers, traders were selling, and price was heading lower from the start. Conversely, a candle like this one showed that traders couldn't make up their mind. Price gyrated around its opening level, and after lots of movement, wound up virtually unchanged. Similarly, whole sequences of candles can form shapes or patterns that suggest both what markets are feeling about a given currency pair or other asset and where price is likely to go in the future. We saw an example of such a chart pattern back in a previous lesson 3, which was seen in figure 3.5 shown below. Back in 3 and 4, we mentioned how some of the different candle shapes and combinations hinted at what traders were thinking, and thus how price might move in the near future. In the review exercise that followed, we asked you to forecast how price would move in the future. We then showed you that it moved lower and offered a few reasons why you could have predicted that move based on the limited information we had taught up to that point. What we hadn't yet told you was that in fact the entire shape of the pattern the candles had traced from candle A through I suggested a coming move downwards. They had formed a bearish head and shoulders pattern, which is similar to a W, with a higher center peak that is reminiscent of a head flanked by two shoulders. When this pattern appears during an uptrend, it often signals that this uptrend is about to reverse. There is logic to this. This is how it works. Price attempts to rise higher but fails, candles A to C. Buyers again bid the price up from candle D and succeed in driving it higher all the way up to candle F. However, demand can't sustain that price, which then falls back to around the support level defined by candles C and D. Buyers again return after candle G, but fail to regain the old high of candle F. These 3 failed attempts to drive price higher often signal that resistance is too strong and that price is due to test lower, especially if this head and shoulders pattern comes from a prolonged uptrend. In sum, the charts 3.5 and 3.6 from lesson 2 show examples of 2 different systems of chart patterns that tell us more about support and resistance. Japanese candle patterns. We briefly introduced examples of how candles suggest support and resistance levels in the comments on candles A through I in figure 3.5. Traditional Western chart patterns. We saw one example, the bearish head and shoulders pattern, and how it indicates support and resistance levels. A full treatment of each of these systems can be lengthy. We'll cover them in greater depth later. For now, just know that these patterns exist and are another tool for you to use.
I hope this video was very, very informative of you guys to notice different patterns and things when things like that are starting to appear, so you can recognize which way the market's going to go and you can read the candlestick patterns. Well, this is it for the training tip videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had fun with it. I'm going to do one more special gift video for this after this for you guys, and I hope you really like it and enjoy it. So take care and happy trading.